welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. Let's have a heart-to-heart conversation about who is most affected by sex. There's a lot of talk that's been going around about women are mostly negatively affected by sexual acts than men are. But then there's talks as well as, well, we all are affected in some way. And then there's the women that says, oh no, men are mostly affected because it makes their hunger for sex even higher. It's a phenomenon and everyone's so focused on that. We can focus on that, or we can focus on what our Bible tells us, what our Father tells us. If you believe in God, then that's where your focus should be. We should not pick and choose from the Bible the things that suits our flesh, the things that, makes us feel good. We don't want to let go of. We just want to say, okay, this is okay because the world says it's okay. But I still believe in God and I still willing to walk with God and with Jesus. You can't do that. I understand we all been there. I've been there too, where it's like, well, I could do this because God is love and God is forgiving. But yet I was living in sin. The only reason I was able to get over that sin is because I had to confess, repent, which means you turn away from it and you don't do it again. There's a difference between walking into sin and willingly jumping into sin and accidentally falling into sin. I had to learn that as well. Like, okay, God knows what you're thinking. He knows you already thought about what you're going to do and you went and did it. Despite what your belief is, despite what my word tells you, you did it. Therefore, it was a willing sin. Now, back to this topic. I don't really care what you do. I don't. I'm not in your body. I don't have to give account for what you've done. I don't have to stand before God at the end of my life and tell him that I've slept with all these people. But what I am here to do is to redirect your way of thinking. And you don't have to agree. You can be like, girl, shut up, and that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is, I believe that having premarital sex is sin. And I do believe that it negatively affects us all. And if you want to take the whole religion part out of it, fine, let's do that. Before, when I was walking with the world, because your girl has not always been saved, has not always been practicing her faith. I knew of Jesus. I was one of those people who was like, oh, well, but the Bible tells me that God loves me and nobody can judge me. I used to come back with that all the time. But it took for me to mature and to be honest with myself and to accept that what I was doing was not right and to choose. Do you want to believe in God and be faithful to his word? Or do you want to just know that he exists, put him on the back burner and walk with the world? Two choices that you have in life. That's the two choices we all have. We don't get to say, I want to walk half and half. Would it be nice? In our flesh, of course. But it's either you're all in or you're all out. So, there's been a lot of talk going around, especially from men, that they want to argue with women and say, a woman's supposed to stay pure, but a man can go and do whatever he wants to do. That's fine. That's your flesh. I get that. But again, that's your flesh. And spiritually, it's not good for you. And for women too, there's women out here who's like, I'm just going to go sleep with everybody. I don't care. And I'm not going to get married. I don't want to do that. I was one of those people too. I wasn't one of the people that slept around. Now, I'm not going to lie about that. But I was one of those people that was in relationships and having premarital sex. And I was okay with that because I did not want to get married. I had a fear of marriage because of things I've seen in my family. And because of that, I said, oh no, God, I'm not doing that. But I will be faithful to this one person. So that means I'm doing the right thing. Because back in the day, back in biblical times, people didn't sign marital papers. And so that means I'm good because I'm faithful to one person. In the spiritual realm, this is my spouse because I'm only being with this one person. I try to justify. But no matter how many ways you try to justify things, God's truth is always going to be God's truth. And I went through some things with living that way. No matter how faithful I was being cheated on, I was being beat on, I was being lied to, I was being manipulated. I went through the ringer and I stayed because of sex. because of that bond through sex that I had with that person. I felt like we were so in love when everybody on the outside could see y'all relationship is toxic. It's not healthy. Y'all both not happy, but y'all have a moment of happiness when you get in that bed together. That was the only part that I could say, okay, I was happy in some of my relationships was because of that. I did not truly even, like, I knew the love was gone, but because I was sexual with them, I continued to stay in that relationship and to give false love when it was just really lust. Even though it was 2, 3, 4 years later, it was lust. It wasn't love. And the same for my partner. He would do the same exact thing, but then go behind my back and go talk to other people and do whatever he wanted to do. Because it wasn't love. And then I realized even after the relationship was over, they wasn't coming back to say, I want to come back the right way and be with you and build with you and all this. They wasn't saying that. They were talking about, when can we have sex again? Can we just have sex? Because sex is binding. And it's so much more intimate than what we would like to accept. We want to believe, oh, it's just sex, it just feels good. Yeah, but when you lay down with somebody and you get up, you're taking away whatever the spirits are that's on them. You're connecting with them and your mind is saying, I'm in love, I gotta be with this person. And it makes you do crazy things. That's why a lot of people have lost their lives. That's why a lot of people are in jail right now. That's why people are walking around with STDs, even though they've been faithful to their partner, because their partner is just so full of lust in their mind. It's just sex. And they go sleep with somebody, they get up with something, and they had a whole person at home that they could have did that stuff with. But because of the flesh and because of the desire to just go out and just do whatever, they didn't think about their partner. They thought about what would feel good to them in that moment, and they did it, and now they have something. And your husband or your wife then went out and had sex with somebody, and now there's a baby involved. Who truthfully wants to be embedded to that situation? If you know that you went into marriage with trying to be faithful and trying to have this thing last, and then now I got to deal with a kid that's not mine, or STD. Sex affects us all. It affects us all. I know that I talked to a lot of my guy friends and they would say things like, yeah, but a woman, she gets stressed out. Like, stressed out. Y'all know what I mean. She's like a rubber band. And they're like, it's just not the same. But a man's anatomy doesn't change. So that's why women should not be sleeping around. Cool, you got some points for that one. You know, I agree, I guess. That is truthfully what happens. We expand and you know, all kinds of things. But again, we cannot trump what God has said in his word. And he said that to protect us. I know that we don't want to think about that. We want to feel like, well, we're young. We want to have sex. We want to have fun. What is wrong with it? I get that. But there's a lot wrong with it. Because sometimes you can get yourself involved with somebody married, or they got some crazy ex or something, and all you wanted was a good time, and now their ex or their husbands or wives or boyfriend or girlfriends are coming after you. You get with somebody who you think is something real, and they out here sleeping with everybody, and again bring you something, or got you all in your feelings doing crazy things, trying to fight somebody else because now they want to leave you and go be with the next person because they already had their fun with you. They was having fun with other people and they like this other person better. It's so much more than just sex. And in my opinion, in general, it affects everybody. I'm telling you. And broken homes with these children, to affect a child is so deep. So deep. And the Bible tells us that a man who does not take care of his own children is worse than a non-believer. So if you're going through that and you are sleeping with a whole bunch of women, have a whole bunch of baby mamas, especially if you can't afford them, you're not in the home, you're not taking care of them, you're not spending time with them, you're not helping to grow them up, you're just out here spreading your seeds, you're in a lot more trouble than you think you are. And there's a lot of times where I have heard stories about men trying to force women to have abortions and all that. You don't have to worry about any of that if you stop. You wait on God and you seek relationships on the level that God told you to. And if that's not your belief, I get it. I got you too. Think about all the relationships that you've been in. Think about all the times that you've been sexually active with people. And think about, for one, if you've ever caught anything, think about that situation. You probably didn't even think that person had anything. And then you got something. Now you're getting treated for something that you didn't have anything to do with. You just like this person, you wanted to have sex with that person. Think about the children that you've had along the way. If you've got children, and if they're by multiple baby mamas, different baby daddies. Would it not been easier, and would it not been more beneficial for you to have waited for one person? That way you and your husband, or you and your wife, could build a home to raise those children, versus having multiple baby mamas, multiple baby daddies, and switching out kids, and maybe not even having the other parent in the life. Would it not have been easier? I know we can argue all day long. I'm a single mama myself. I am not telling you anything to judge you, because, hey, I'm in the same boat. I went out here and, I want to do what I want to do. I don't even want to get married, all that stuff, and not knowing nothing about the love that God has for us, and how much He wants to protect us. I was listening to the devil. And because of that, I got pregnant. Things changed. It wasn't love in the beginning. It was lust. We were fulfilling our flesh. So in the end, I'm looking crazy, like, oh wow. And now I'm a single mama. We want to fight for our flesh so bad, but this flesh is dragging you to hell. If we don't want to think about anything religiously, it's dragging you down the path of suffering. I promise you it is. If you always do the things of your flesh, you eat a lot, you're going to gain a whole lot of weight. You're going to be unhealthy. You go out here having sex with everybody. You're risking your health. You're risking having children out of wedlock, or children that you don't even want in general. You're risking soul ties and emotional ties and all kinds of things. It's so unhealthy. You follow your flesh and you hurt somebody, you in jail. You follow your flesh and you cursing people out, now somebody can hurt you. Like, I'm telling you, if you follow your flesh, it is going to take you down a path of suffering. So again, to answer the question, who is more affected by sex? I say everybody, when it's not done the right way. Sex is a beautiful thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, who needs sex? Because your girl want to have sex too. But at the same time, I know the dangers that lie out here. And I also know that my faith, my belief, is not okay. And I would rather be pleasing to God and to Jesus than pleasing to this flesh when people are always going to hurt you. So I'll go out here and give myself away. And then what? Then he decide he don't want to be with me no more? He don't want to marry me? Then what? Who's hurt in the end? And you want to argue, oh, well, it's just sex. Is it? Okay. Okay. It's just sex. Go ahead. Nobody's trying to stop you, but you can never say that the knowledge wasn't here and that it was not available to you. But that's all I have to say. Y'all let me know what you think. Drop your comments in the comment box below. Or you can send me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are. We can talk in private. You can send me some topic ideas that you would like to talk about or hear about. Or you can share a testimony with me. Or if you'd like for me to share it, I will. Again, not sharing any of your personal information. We'll just share with our family on here. And, somebody will be blessed to hear it. But you let me know what you think. As usual, I love y'all. This is not a video to judge you. This is a video to help and uplift you and have you think of things differently. So let me know what you think. We will keep the conversation going and talk